Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Sinead, and today I'll be sharing with you my January reading plans, so please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back, and also Happy New Year, everyone. So like I said, I'm going to be finally sharing with you all the books that I'm going to be reading in January. So the first book that I'm going to be reading is, or one of the books I'm going to be reading is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I have been wanting to read this for quite some time now, and I know the second book is going to be coming out really soon. I think not this, if it's not this month, it's next month in February, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard nothing but great things, and also this is the month for me where I'm going to be reading books, the first books out of a series, because I'm definitely starting a new series this year that I definitely want to read and finish this year as well. So I'm really looking forward to My Heart is a Chainsaw, which, like I said, this is the first book of the Lake Witch trilogy. So I'm really excited for this one. And so for this one, it says, in her quickly gentrifying Royal Lake town, Jade sees recent events only her encyclopedic knowledge of horror films could have prepared her for. Jade Daniels is an angry, half-Indian outcast with an abusive father, an absent mother, and an entire town that wants nothing to do with her. She lives in her own world, a world in which protection comes from an unusual source: horror movies, especially the ones where a mass killer seeks revenge on a world that wronged them. And Jade narrates the quirky history of Proof Rock as if it is one of those movies. But when blood actually starts to spill into the waters of Indian Lake, she pulls us into her dizzying encyclopedic mind of blood and masked murders, and predicts exactly how the plot will unfold. Yet, even as Jade drags us into her dark fever dream, a surprising and intimate portrait emerges. A portrait of the scared and traumatized little girl beneath the Jason Voorhees mask. Angry, yes, but also a girl who easily cries, fiercely loves, and desperately wants a home. A girl whose feelings are too big for her body. My Heart is a Chainsaw is her story, her homage to horror and revenge and triumph. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Like I said, it's definitely going to be like I'm starting a new series this month in particular, and this is one of the books that has been on my list and has been something that I've been wanting to read for, like I said, for quite some time. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've heard nothing but great things about it from people that I really do care for, and I really put their reviews in consideration, and I trust their reviews. So I'm really looking forward to this one and cannot wait to read it. The next book, this is not the start of a series, I don't think, but this book's going to be coming out in February, and I'm really looking forward to reading this, and that is Delicious Monsters by LaSalle Sandberry. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love the cover on top of it. It looks so beautiful. And so for this one, it says, Daisy sees dead people, something impossible to forget in bustling ghost-packed Toronto. She usually manages to deal with her unwanted ability, but she's completely unprepared to be dumped by her boyfriend. So when her mother inherits a secluded mansion in northern Ontario where she spent her childhood summers, Daisy jumps at the chance to escape. But the house is nothing like Daisy expects, and she begins to realize that her experience with the supernatural might be no match for her mother's secrets, nor what lurks within these walls. And then it says, a decade later, Brittany is desperate to get out from under the thumb of her abusive mother. A best-selling author who claims her stay at Miracle Mansion allowed her to see the error of her ways. But Brittany knows that's nothing but a sham. She decides the new season of her popular haunted web series will uncover what happened to a young black girl in the mansion 10 years prior and finally expose her mother's lies. But as she gets more wrapped up in the investigation, she'll have to decide if she can only bring one story to light, which one matters most, Daisy's or her own. As Brittany investigates the mansion in the present, Daisy's story runs parallel in the past, both timelines propelling the girls to face the most dangerous monsters of all, those that hide in plain sight. So, like I said, this book comes out in February, and I'm really excited to read this. This sounds really interesting, and what got me most is just the cover itself. So, really looking forward to reading this, and I just cannot wait. So this next book is a new start in a series that I'm excited for, and that is The Witcher, The Last Wish. This is the illustrated edition. I cannot pronounce this author's name. I will find out, and I don't want to butcher the author's name, but here is the author. I will, like I said, I will find out how to pronounce his name. I really will, but I just don't want to butcher it at this time. So this is the first book that I'll be reading in the Witcher series, and I'm really excited for this. It says, even on the back, not everything monstrous looking is evil. Not everything fair is good. And in every fairy tale, there is a grain of truth. So for this one, it says, this series introduced the world to iconic monster hunter Geralt of Rivia, his beloved ward and the prophesied savior of the world, Ciri, and his ally and true love, the powerful sorceress Yennefer, and they took the world by storm. Since its first publication in Poland almost 3 decades ago, The Witcher has become a New York Times and international bestseller, has inspired a hit Netflix show and multiple blockbuster video games, and has transported millions of fans to an epic world of magic and adventure. It says, featuring a beautiful new cover and 8 gorgeous interior illustrations by a range of award-winning artists, all of which can be experienced in augmented reality with Google Lens. The special edition of The Last Wish brings the world of The Witcher and the story collection that started it all to life like never before. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. And like I said, they have a lot of beautiful art in this book as well. Let me see if I can find something to share with you all what that art looks like in here. So here is one where this shows Geralt on his horse. Right here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. I've been wanting to read this series ever since I found out that Henry Cavill will no longer be the Witcher in season 4. So I'm like, all right, I need to read the books because I really want to know what people are talking about. Even Henry Cavill himself loves the Witcher books himself, which he really loved his role as being Geralt. But things took a turn within the production and the director of The Witcher. It just went out. It's just, yeah, it didn't work out for him, which is fine. I'm sad that he will no longer continue on being the Witcher, but at least we should see him at least one more time in season 3. So really looking forward to starting this series. Now this next one is my book club pick for my members, which I have 2 memberships. We have Origins and we have the Ray Bears, but no matter which category that you're in, even if you're Origin or Ray Bear, you still be participating in the live discussions that I have every single month. So the first book that we're going to be reading for January is going to be The Art of Prophecy, the War Art Saga Book 1, and this is by Wesley Chu. And I've heard nothing but great things about this book, so I'm like, I need to give it a try. And this is like part of a new series, so why not? So for this one, it says, in this epic fantasy ode to martial arts and magic by the New York Times best-selling author of The Lives of Tao, a prophecy hero must work with a band of unlikely allies to save their kingdom. So it says, so many stories begin the same way, with the prophecy, a chosen one, and the inevitable quest to slay a villain, save the kingdom, and fulfill a grand destiny. But this is not that kind of story. It does begin with a prophecy. A child will rise to defeat the eternal Khan, a cruel, immortal god king, and save the kingdom. And that prophecy did anoint a hero, Xion, raised since birth in luxury and splendor and celebrated before he has won a single battle. But that's when the story hits its first twist. The prophecy is wrong. What follows is a story more wondrous than any prophecy could foresee, and with many unexpected heroes. Tashi, an older woman who is the greatest grandmaster of magical martial arts in the kingdom, but who thought her adventuring days were all behind her. Sally, a straight-laced warrior who learns that the rules may no longer apply when the leader to whom she pledged her life is gone. And Kusami, a chaotic assassin who takes a little too much pleasure in the kill. And Xion himself, who has to find a way to become what he no longer believes he can be, a hero after all. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and also, like, I love the map in this book. It's so colorful. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to reading this with my members. If you'd like to become a member, all you gotta do is hit, go ahead and click on join. Like I said, you can either be a Ray Bear or Origin, and regardless, you will be part of the live discussions that we'll be having each and every single month. So definitely cannot wait to pick this up. The next one is going to be a middle grade, and I'm really looking forward to this one, and that is Cameron Battle and the Hidden Kingdoms. This is the first book in a series. I know the second book, I think, comes out sometime this month in January in particular, so I'll be reading the second book in February, but I'm really looking forward to reading this. I know my good friend that I love so much, Bree from Bree Sheree Reads, has read this book, and she's loved it, so I feel like I'm gonna love it as well. So for this one, it says, as the true descendant, I command to open the door to Shitani. It shall be broken. Magic awaits those who seek the queen's peace, and all the suffering you feel will cease. Those who open the histories will hear a sound. What was lost has finally been found. And so it says, Cameron Battle grew up reading the Book of Chadani, cherishing stories about the fabled kingdom that cut itself off from the rest of the world to save the Igbo people from danger. Passed down after generations, the book is Cameron's only connection to his parents, who disappeared one fateful night 2 years ago. Ever since, his grandmother has kept the book locked away, but it calls to Cameron. When he and his best friends Zion and Aaliyah decide to open it again, they are magically transported to Chadani. Instead of a land of beauty and wonder, they find a kingdom in extreme danger. As the queen's sister seeks to destroy the barrier between worlds, the people of Chadani have been waiting for the last descendant to return and save them. Is Cameron ready to be the hero they need? Inspired by the West African and Igbo history and mythology, this adventure-filled fantasy introduces readers to Cameron Battle as he begins his journey to greatness. So, definitely cannot wait to read this. That's another goal of mine for 2023, is to read at least one middle grade a month. So, really looking forward to reading this, and I just love the cover. It's so beautiful. So, definitely cannot wait to read this. The next one is the first in a series, and it only has 3 books, so I was like, I need to go ahead and read them. I have them. I need to read them. So I'll be reading the first book in a series, and this is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. And of course, this is the Fairy Loot edition, so it looks a little bit different from others. But for this one, let's see what this one is about. So it says, here, as Zelendov, the only person you can trust is yourself. It says 17-year-old Kiva Marinian is a survivor. For 10 years, she has worked as the healer in the notorious death prison Zelendov, making herself indispensable. Kept afloat by messages of hope from her family, Kiva has one goal and one goal only: stay alive. Then one day, the infamous rebel queen arrives at the prison on death's door, and Kiva receives a new message: don't let her die. We are coming. The queen is sentenced to the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. Aware the sickly queen has little chance of making it through the trials alive, Kiva volunteers to take her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom, but no one has ever survived. And with an incurable plague sweeping Zelendov, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can escape the terrible feeling that her trials have only just begun. So, yeah. This sounds really interesting. Really looking forward to reading it. I've seen some people read it, but I don't really know much about it. So I'm going in just being hopeful, and it sounds really interesting when it comes to trials and survival and how to stay alive and all that. So really looking forward to this. It sounds really, really good. Now for this next book, this is going to be the one nonfiction that I'm going to be reading this month. My goal is to read one nonfiction book per month. So my first book, which is going to be coming out really soon, is Spare by Prince Harry. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I know that all the proceeds for this book is going to be donated to all of his charities and foundations that he is a part of. So I'm really looking forward to that. So all the proceeds goes to those foundations. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I want to know all the tea, if he'll give it to us. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just being nosy. I want to know what he has to say. I think this is going to be a very popular book. I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I don't know. I might even do a review for this book in particular, because I find his family is as a mystery, and we all want to know what's going on in the palace, but I doubt he'll give us that much tea, but just give us a minimum, just a little sprinkle, just a little. But I am looking forward to reading this. And I just love the fact that all the proceeds that from this book in particular, that all the purchases and stuff for this book is going to be donated to foundations and fundraisers and stuff like that. So love that. So cannot wait to read Spare. The next book, which is really chunky. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I want to read this because I know the second book, or the book that's attached to this world, is going to be coming out in February. So I'm going to be reading The Priory of the Orange Tree. This is by Samantha Shannon. And yeah, this is a chunky book, but I read chunkier books. So literally having it only as, let's see how many pages it is altogether. Let's see. Yeah, only 804 pages. That's not bad. I've read a lot chunkier books last year. So this is really nothing now for me anyways. So I'm looking forward to reading The Priory of Orange Tree. I've heard a lot of people that I do trust that love this book. So I'm really looking forward to it. So on the back it says, the House of Baronet has ruled Innis for 1,000 years. Still unwed, Queen Sabran the Ninth must conceive a daughter to protect her realm from destruction. But assassins are getting closer to her door. Ian Dorian is an outsider at court. Though she has risen to the position of lady-in-waiting, she is loyal to a hidden society of mages. Ead keeps a watchful eye on Sabran, secretly protecting her with forbidden magic. Across the Dark Sea, Tane has trained to be a dragon rider since she was a child, but is forced to make a choice that could see her life unravel. Meanwhile, the divided East and West refuse to parley, and forces of chaos are rising from their sleep. So, this sounds really good. I have the paperback. I feel like my wrist is going to end up collapsing trying to like literally pick up a hardcover of this book particularly. So I'm glad I got the paperback for this one in particular, but I like this cover. It's really intriguing, like the pillar and all that, and the dragon. So we're looking forward to it. The only thing I will say is that people have told me is that there's not going to be a lot of dragons in this book on what it seems like it will be in this cover and like in the book in particularly, but that's fine. So we're looking forward to reading this. It sounds really good. Last but not least, I'm going to be rereading this series in particular because Gabby from The Curious Owl is doing a read-along for N.K. Jemisin and all of her works. So the first book that Gabby chose for January in the series is going to be the 5th season. As you can see, I have tapped it up, but now this is going to be my second reread, or my first reread of this book. I'm probably going to tap it up even more. I already have notes and everything, but I cannot wait to start reading this again and jumping back into this world. It's just such a beautiful series, just beautifully written. I just love it so much. I'm glad that Gabby chose this as the first book in the series that we're going to be starting reading in January. So I really look forward to reading this. And if you haven't read N.K. Jemisin, and especially the Broken Earth trilogy, I suggest you do so. It's really, really good. And that's just my opinion. There are some that don't really care for it, but I love N.K. Jemisin. I love all her work that I've read so far by her. And yeah, this is going to be a good time. So really looking forward to reading this. But that is it. These are all the books I plan on reading in January. I know this seems a little bit ambitious for me, but I think I will get through it. There's some small books in between. There's some chunky books. So I don't think it'll be too bad, but I'm just here for it. I'm ready. This is a new year, a new beginning, a new start of a new year. So why not try to be ambitious and see what I can get to? But here are all the books I do plan on reading in January. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and please stay healthy and stay safe. And once again, Happy New Year. See ya.